everyone, it's Miss Elaine again, and I am here at the Firehouse Art Center. I am actually in front of a piece of art by Stephen Frost. It's a weaving that is in our newest exhibit, which our second Friday gallery opening is happening this Friday with a live stream from 6 to 6:30, and then an in-person opening event from 6:30 to 9. So step to the side so you can get a better look at one of the pieces. There are actually 4 artists involved in this show, and it is called Bright, and it is an exhibit that is devoted to the use of color in contemporary art. So it is definitely something that you want to see. It's a very happy and uplifting show, and I think that at times like this, maybe this is the kind of artwork that we need to surround ourselves with. So definitely come on by to the gallery and come see our new exhibit. So hi Julie, hi Joshua. So we are doing our art class for today, and it is a drawing class. And it is not a class that requires a lot of supplies, but you might need to look into your kitchen and find some items to trace. So this is the artwork we are doing today. It is bubbles drawn on black paper. And I'm going to show you some vocabulary words that we are using that are kind of going to explain some of the things that we're doing in our artwork today. So the supplies that you need are a piece of black construction paper or art paper. So I'm going to grab a new piece for myself. So you need paper, black paper. You need things that are circular to trace. So lots of varying sizes. This is water bottle cap, toilet paper roll, got a tape roll. I can do the inside for the circle or the outside. I have just a soap container thing. This is for powdered sugar, and a cup. So lots of different circle sizes because you want to have circle sizes of bubbles, and I even have, let's see, I haven't blown any bubbles out of this yet, but so I'm going to get a piece of paper, and I'm going to actually, or a plate, and put some water in it because I want you guys to look at a bubble so that you can actually see it. So hold 1 second. Okay, so I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm not quite sure it's going to work. So I'm taking my bubble wand. Nope, that didn't work. I'm trying to blow a bubble so you guys can see it. Okay, do you guys see it? It's sitting there on the plate. And I wanted you guys to see that where the light hits it, there is a shine. So there is a very bright light reflection on the bubble. Let's see if I can blow another one onto the plate. Maybe get a bigger one. Oh. I feel like that was luck. Ooh, look at that one. So you see where these little reflection points are. See where that light is? And you'll see like the lines of the reflection are curved and they follow that circle. So that is what we're going to draw today. We're going to be using lots of circle shapes. We're going to be using light reflection, and we're going to be using color and contrast with the black paper. So I am going to put this plate to the side. Oh, the bubble pop. Okay, so that is what we're doing today. We are going to be making our bubbles on a piece of black paper, and as far as vocabulary words, we have a couple of words for today. So transparent is of a material or article allowing light to pass through so that the object behind it can be distinctly seen. So bubbles are transparent. They're clear. You can see through them. Sometimes they get a little translucent, meaning allowing light but not detailed shapes to pass through. Semi-transparent. Bubbles are probably more transparent than semi-transparent because they are very clear, but because of the distortion, might not be able to see detailed shapes. Reflection, an image seen in a mirror or a shiny surface. As you saw, the bubbles are very shiny. There might be a reflection in the bubble when you look at it. Negative space, the area around and in between the subjects. We're going to have lots of negative space, and negative space is as important as the bubbles you're drawing. So when we're going through our project, I want to show you, I'm going to show you on mine the negative space that I have, and talk to you about why that's just as important. And then contrast. As a principle of art, contrast refers to the arrangement of opposite elements and effects. For example, light and dark, smooth and rough, large and small. Contrast can be used to create variety, visual interest, and drama in artwork. Now, the use of the black paper with the white bubbles and the bright colors has a lot of drama because of the high contrast. So when you are picking your crayons or oil pastels, so that's another supply that we need, when you're picking these, I want you guys to pick bright colors so that you can have the high contrast that you need to create the drama in your drawing. So go ahead and get your supplies. If you need to collect a couple of more circles, go ahead and do that now. And make sure you have a white oil pastel and some bright colors. Of course, you can also use crayons. And I will show you bubbles both in crayons and in oil pastel so you can see the difference. I'm going to close up my bubble thing because I am probably going to spill it if I don't. And at this point, I am going to turn the screen down so you guys can see my workspace. Okay, so that is my workspace for today. I have my pastels ready. I have my black piece of paper. I'm going to put my sample right here so you guys can see it. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can do your bubbles today, depending on the supplies that you have. So as I said, you need paper, you need circles, you need oil pastels or crayons, and you also need a pencil with an eraser, preferably. Okay, so I'm going to get my paper ready. I'm going to hold it landscape, so it's going to go straight across like this. And I'm going to switch positions so you guys can see it better. I think that is better. Okay. And I am going to start placing my circles on the piece of paper. Now, of course, you can use this, trace it, and then move it. But I want to kind of lay out some bubbles first to create my layout, because I want to also have the negative space around the bubbles. So, of course, I could create a drawing where there's a bubble here, and there's a bubble here, and there's a bubble here, and then just keep putting bubbles all over the place. But then that is going to be very different looking than if I were to have my bubbles spaced out. So do you guys see that? That is why negative space is important. You want to make sure that you have enough space around your bubbles where it doesn't become too cluttered and you actually can see the definition between one bubble, another bubble, and then the ones that are overlapping actually become more meaningful because of the space around the other bubbles, so the negative space. So I want you guys to take your pencil and your circles, and I want you to kind of plan out where you want your bubbles, okay? And you're going to trace around the edge with your pencil, just like that. So you might be able to see it. I'm going to bring it closer so you guys can see. Okay, so that's pencil on black paper. You can still see it. Then I'm going to turn this over, and if you want, you can overlap your bubbles. Just figure out which one you want to go on top. So the smaller one is overlapping the big one. So you see smaller one's closer, big one's behind it. And then you just keep on tracing different sizes. So go ahead with your pencil and start making circles. Trace around them with your pencil and keep in mind that negative space. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bubbles, and I'm actually going to put one coming off the page. That creates drama and interest too, so it makes your drawing a little bit more interesting if you have something that's coming off of the page. So not everything is just grouped in the center, not everything is just filling the whole page, not everything is just on one side. You want to kind of space it out with a negative space within it, and then you can even pull some off of the side, like this one, to create some interest in your drawing. And I might even do that with this one. So I have a bubble right here too. Okay, awesome. I think that's good. Maybe I'll put another small one right here. Okay, now that I have those bubbles penciled in, I'm going to move this closer so you guys can see. See all my pencil marks of all the circles? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take either your white crayon or your white oil pastel, and you are going to trace around those circles, okay? So try to get on the line so you can be kind of precise about this, so take your time. Now, oil pastels do smudge, so if you are working with oil pastels, work from either the left to the right so that your hand goes from the left to the right and you don't smudge them, or work from the top to the bottom. Now I know that this is upside down for you, so just keep that in mind. Oil pastels will smudge, so you want to make sure that when you're drawing it, you spend as little time with your arm brushing over your drawing as you can. Okay, so I'm going to start from the left and I'm going to move right. I want you guys to do the same. Just realize that this is backwards and upside down on yours. So I am going to trace with my white crayon first, my first bubble. Now this is just to show you the difference between using a white crayon and a white oil pastel. So there is your white bubble right there with the oil pastel, and this is it with a crayon. So you can tell there's a little bit of difference. There is not as much distinctness as, so the white is just a little bit brighter on the oil pastel than it is with the crayon. So you can choose whatever tool you want to use. If you have oil pastels, I always recommend it for the black paper drawings just because it always ends up being much brighter.
Do you know if there's going to be anybody in?
I am going to keep drawing circles, and I want you to keep drawing circles as well. Okay, I had to run outside. There was somebody at the gallery. So keep drawing your circles with your white oil pastel. Okay. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. And then my 8th one is right here down at the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some time to catch up and get all of your bubbles drawn. I'm gonna draw over my crayon one with my oil pastel. There we go. Okay, so now you have your bubbles. You have your circles traced. You went over them with white oil pastel or crayon. Your first step is to make 2 shiny spots on each bubble. And I want you guys to watch first. You're gonna pick 2 spots on opposite sides of each of the circles to create your bright reflections, okay? And watch first. There's 1 shiny. Do you see how it follows the curve of my circle? When you are coloring in your circle, I want you guys to pay attention to the marks that you're making and make sure they all follow the curve of your circle. So when you color in, you don't want to color zigzag like this. You want to color with the curve of the circle. Right now we're still just using white though. So each bubble, do 2 shinies. And when I say shiny, it's just a reflective part of your bubble. Just like that. Are they already starting to look like bubbles? I think so. And they can be just lines like this. So now I have 2 shiny reflective spots on each one. So we're going to pause there and you guys can catch up. You can do smaller ones around it too. But I want you guys to make sure that you have 2 large main ones. Then, if you want, you can do some smaller little white circles as bubbles too. But you see, there's still all this negative space that is not anything. You want to have that around your bubbles to keep them spaced out so they don't clump together. Okay? Now, we get to use our bright colors, and I want you guys to color your bubbles in now, but I don't want you to color them all in. I want you now to think about the negative space within your bubble, because if you color everything in, then it starts to look like something that's opaque and not transparent. So you want to make sure that you have enough black space in your bubbles to remind the person that is looking at the bubbles that they are transparent and then you can actually see through them. So I'm going to take my bright colors and I'm going to start with pink and I am going to color my bubbles. Now look at my strokes and the marks that I'm making. I'm following the curve of my bubble, just like that. So if you want to use pink on all your bubbles, you can. Oh, and you guys are looking at my hands and you might see my blister there. That is from, we went kayaking the other day at the reservoir and it was awesome and it was so much fun, and at the end of the day I had blisters on both hands from my oars. So I apologize for my awful looking blisters. So keep coloring. And if you want to, you can switch colors. Now, I am using my bright colors. I'll show you the colors that I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose my light blue, my light green. I already have my pink. I might use orange, and I might use red. So these are all very bright colors. They're going to give you very high contrast with the black paper, and it's going to create a lot of drama in your drawing. So go ahead and keep coloring. Remember, you don't want to color it all in because you want that negative space, because this bubble is transparent and you want to still keep some of that black so that you know you can see right through that bubble. And remember to keep those strokes and the marks that you're making following the curve of your bubble, just like that. Okay, so now I have two colors. I have pink and blue. I'm gonna do green. And you don't have to use all the colors on all the bubbles. And if you think that you might need a little bit of white to like get that reflection back in there, you can. Okay, so far that's what my bubbles look like. So I have pink, green, blue, and let's put a little red in there. I'm just gonna do a little bit of red because red is really super dark. And okay, I think that's pretty good. How do you think that looks? How are your bubbles looking? I think that those are looking pretty good. So I'm going to show you guys something that you can do with oil pastels that you cannot do with crayons. You can do it a little bit with crayons, but it works better with oil pastels. I am going to take my thumb, the pad of my thumb, and I am going to start to blend my pastels together. Now, if you're blending, you can use your thumb or you can use a paper towel. Try not to blend outside of the bubble. Just stay within that circle. And then when you blend it, it starts to look even more three-dimensional. So this is optional. If you're using oil pastels, you can blend. Try not to blend outside of the circle though. You want to keep the negative space looking all black. Okay, you can use your thumb or you can use paper towel. I like using my thumb. I feel like it works better than a paper towel because you have oils on your skin, and then the oils help to mix and blend the oil pastel. So keep blending it like that. And then you are pretty much done. So the last thing, if you wanted to do, if you blended like a little bit outside of your circle, what you could do is then you can take your white oil pastel and just kind of strengthen the outside edge of your bubbles. And that will reinforce the separation between bubble and negative space. Now, just be careful when you're doing this not to smudge your drawing. With oil pastels, it's kind of hard because they are a little messy. Chalk pastels as well. And If you wanted to put some more highlights in there, you can do that as well. And I think I am done. Awesome. So that is how to do bubbles on black paper. It's very super simple, especially if you have things to trace your circles with, or if you have a compass. Also makes it very easy. Remember to use bright colors to provide that contrast on the black paper, and the difference between the crayon and the oil pastels. So think about that when you're thinking about the tools that you want to use when you want to create contrast on a dark piece of paper. Crayons will give you some contrast, but the oil pastels just show up so much better. So think about your tools when you're thinking about what you want to create. And I am going to turn the screen up. That's a pretty simple class for today. Okay. So I think you guys can see me. My screen's gone black again because I don't know why it does that. But I wanted to show you guys, we are going to be out on the streets again for Art Walk. Art Walk this Saturday is activity kits for the kids. We are going to be handing out our coloring pages, which we handed out last time, but we did run out. So if you didn't get a packet, definitely come out this weekend, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be at St. Stephen's Plaza on the southeast corner of 5th and Main. So I will be there at the kids' activity booth, and we're going to be handing out some stuff. There will be some things for the kids to kind of pick and choose. We'll be wearing gloves and masks, and so when your kids come up, if you already have one of these coloring pages, just let us know, and we'll give you a bag with the activities without the coloring pages, unless you want another set. And we might have some questions about whether you want other art supplies as well, which are kind of like a pick and choose kind of thing. And there will be stickers and all sorts of other fun stuff. So make sure you stop by. That is Art Walk, Longmont, Summer on the Streets. It's going to be happening from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. this Saturday. Here is the coloring page book that we created. So this one is my drawing, which is in the front, and it says Color for Colorado. It's all created by local artists. So there is Fern Spike Art, Koi Ink, Danielle Forte, Kim Kelly, Lee Putnam, who is actually the instructor for Discovery Days at the museum, and myself. So there are all these cute drawings that you can color in, and really, it's for any age. So like if you happen to be an adult going through your kids' stuff and you're like, oh, I want to color that in, feel free to color it in. It's for kids of all ages and the young of heart as well. This one's a banded garden spider. So this was created by Danielle Forte, and it's actually a spider that exists in Colorado. This spider lives in Colorado. So it's scenes from Colorado created by local artists. This is Vance Brand. So he was an astronaut. He was not a cat, but I just thought that that was super awesome. I love this drawing, and I'm gonna definitely color this one in as well. And then this one's by Kim Kelly as well, and it's a scene with Colorado animals, and then there is a hot air balloon with the Colorado flag. And then also our sponsors, so Laura Chittick, Ace Hardware, Quarters, Crystal Joys, Ivy Rose, the historic Callahan House, Rosalie's Pizzeria, Ron's Printing, who of course printed these awesome books for us, and the Used Book Emporium. So definitely come by this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2. Grab a coloring book if you don't have one, grab an activity bag, and hopefully I will see you there. We also have musicians that are going to be playing. You can look for more information on our website, but I know that Sean Cunane will be playing. He actually teaches my son how to play guitar, so I'm very excited. The whole family is excited to see him play. Leah Ditzlier will also be playing. Dustin Becker. Off the top of my head, I know that there are a couple more, but definitely check out the website. And check out the Facebook page for Art Walk Longmont and Firehouse Art Center. All the artists that are going to be there with art booths and all the musicians that are going to be there playing will be on that event page. So I hope you guys had fun making your bubbles on black paper. Hi, Linda. Linda just said hi. She's actually one of the artists for Art Walk. So hi. Yeah, so definitely, if you made some bubbles, share them with me at info@firehouseart.org, and I will place them in our Firehouse Art online class gallery on the Facebook page. We love seeing all the kids' art, so definitely, if you get a chance, send it in to me. I love to see them, and hopefully, I will see you guys this weekend, and if not, I will see you for our last week of class. It's going to be next week. So we only have 3 more, because this is just a drawing class, it's just Tuesday. So we have 3 more classes of this. So Thursday, Tuesday, and then Thursday. And then we're going to start with our homeschool school supplemental art classes. If you're interested in continuing art classes through the fall, winter, and spring, email me at info@firehouseart.org. We're going to be having homeschool art classes and supplemental art classes for schooling age kids as well. So we want to continue learning and bringing in elements of science and math and history and just having fun with art. So I will connect with you there if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks.